Good morning. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
Look at us, man. We're back again. Okay, we're back again. Welcome to Pat and Go with Paul Browning. We're week 14. Week 14, y'all. Like we're just flying through the season. I feel like I say that every week, but that's just that's where we're at. Definitely, as always, I've got Guy Girtin.
Good morning,
all right?
Paul. Great to be here, buddy.
Great to have you. I've got Mike Lewis.
Good to see you.
What's going on? So, guys, we are. It was hard. It was hard making this week's itinerary, if you will, about what exactly we were going to talk about. For those who are watching on YouTube, make sure you're liking and subscribing on YouTube at KPPF Radio 1040, and also Pat and Go with Paul Browning. But like I was saying, it was kind of tough when we were putting this whole thing together, because just last night we got the news that Demaryius Thomas had passed away. He just an all-time great Denver Bronco. He was a great NFL player, 5-time Pro Bowler, Super Bowl champion. But I think all of us who probably got a chance to be around the guy just know how great of a person he was.
Oh, absolutely.
So before we even get started, I just wanted to give that shout out, give that love to the Thomas family and everybody else who was in Demaryius's family. All different teammates and everybody. So just love to you guys, and I think everybody's hurting.
All of our thoughts and prayers for sure. And what a shocker last night.
Yeah.
I still couldn't believe it. I can't this morning.
Yeah.
I had a chance to interview him a few times, and just an excellent, always willing to talk and give his time freely. And, he has got to be part of probably one of the greatest plays in Broncos history.
Yeah.
Several.
Several of them. He's got a couple of them that are
that Steelers playoff game.
Man.
Tim Tebow hits him over the middle, 80 yards,
Iconic.
win the game. Yeah.
So just I wanted to make sure we're dedicating that to him and give him that love. We do have a lot of football that we got to cover. A lot of things happened last week. Detroit. First win, huh?
Hey,
first win for Detroit, so congratulations to them.
Last play of the game.
Right? Last play of the game. But I guess if we want to start this off right, we got to start off right. Let's get right into the high point.
That was good. That was tough.
So when we get into the high point, obviously we got to recap a couple different things. Thursday night, not even a close one. The Vikings just...
Well, it was a real snoozer, yawner until the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
Here come the Steelers. I'm going, what's going on? They might catch them, and they almost did.
I thought for a second they were.
Yeah.
But, look, that was something where just seeing the Vikings needed that. They needed that win big time. You come off the loss to Detroit. You got to turn it around. And
the Steelers came out flat. Looked like they were tired and didn't want to play, but then they came alive in the fourth quarter.
23-0 at halftime? 23-0 at halftime?
No, it was 29-0 in the third quarter.
I was like, wow, this is getting uncomfortable. But it is the NFL, so and Mike, coached by Mike Tomlin, I think he's an excellent coach, so they definitely kept playing. But I guess my takeaway from this whole game, I'm still not sold on Minnesota, and I think the Steelers are they're most definitely, I think, the weakest link in that AFC North.
Yeah,
that's
you're
my takeaway
you're probably right
from this game.
And actually, that helped the Broncos because down the stretch, Mike, the Steelers and the Broncos are all going to be battling for a spot.
Yeah,
so that helped the Broncos last night.
Good point.
100%.
Good point.
We've got some game balls we need to give out from last week. Does anybody want to start that one off, or you want me to
go ahead, Guy?
Well, a couple of them.
Yeah.
Right? One, this Travis Homer, that Seattle, the fake punt. Apparently, you know what I'm talking about, right?
He was gone.
He was gone. And apparently that's his decision. Coach said, yeah, if you see it open and think you can do it. And he called it on his own, and boom, 75 yards, that one.
I believe that's usually how it happens. I've never been the guy on the punt for that, but I do remember in college we had a fake field goal that was like that, and we knew if they were lined up a certain way, then it was going to be we were going to actually get the snap and then flip it to me on the reverse. So that was a great decision by
and then Seattle, big play. Seattle goes on to beat the 49ers, and a big win there for them. And also a shout out to actually Bill Belichick coaching the Patriots in that game. 3 passes the entire game, but hey, it worked, and it just so happens they had the wind in the fourth quarter.
Yeah,
that's not an accident.
Yeah.
Kudos to him.
As a receiver, I'm sick to hear only 3 passes.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
And I was thinking the same thing as far as that the run game and how important having a good run game is. It reminds me of, college football years ago used to be more the run game, and a pass in college football was a couple of times a game. Remember those days?
Oh yeah.
So
Air
remind
Force
me of that.
too.
Yeah.
I gotta turn that game ball. I got to give that to Dan Campbell, all right? He coaches for Detroit. They snapped that 15-game losing streak and then dedicates the win to the lives that were lost at during the Oxford high school shooting. So I thought that was big of him. Dan Campbell, I always loved him as a player, as a tight end. But he's got those guys buying in to, even though you're 0-10. To turn it around and get that win in Minnesota. And they needed it. They've been playing a lot of close games. Tua Tagovailoa, that's another one of my game balls I don't want to give to. He had 30 completions out of 41 attempts, 2 touchdowns, 240, 4 on the yards passing, and that's the 5th game that the Dolphins have won in a row. And they see the Jets after the bye week. The Dolphins really are giving themselves a shot to get into the playoffs.
Right,
that's a real thing now. They're clicking at the right time when they need to click. And then Gardner Minshew coming in for Jacksonville, or excuse me, not Jackson, coming from Jacksonville to end up going to Philly and stepping in for Jalen Hurts. He was 20 for 25, 242, and 2 touchdowns in the win against the Jets. That guy's been through a whole lot. When you look at Gardner Minshew, I believe the story is he was finishing up his career at East Carolina, but then they were bringing in somebody else, and he was going to lose his spot. So he actually goes up to – he's playing at Washington. Then he goes to go coach, I believe, at East Carolina, and then gets an opportunity – it's East Carolina, goes to Alabama, starts coaching at Alabama for a little bit.
Yeah.
And then from Alabama gets actually a shot to go up to coach at Washington when the quarterback at Washington State had passed away. He steps in and ends up becoming the guy. And that kind of gets him in position to play at Jacksonville, make some plays at Jacksonville, and now look at him in Philly with his big old mustache.
He's making the best of his chances there.
Oh my gosh, he's really turned it up. So that's gonna do it for our the high point segment. We've got so much more to talk about. I'm really excited. We're gonna get into some college football and even much more. So we just make sure you guys stay tuned. We'll be right back right after this break. This is Pat and Go with Paul Browning.
Guaranteed Rate delivers home loans built on trust. Whether you're purchasing a home or refinancing, for honest communication with a personal touch, visit rate.com/chrisf or call 719-337-3021. Subject to credit approval. NMLS ID 1435075. Equal housing lender. Guaranteed Rate NMLS 2611. Nationwide mortgage licensing system. NMLSconsumeraccess.org. Colorado license 1005-13557.
Ryder Day Law are an experienced and qualified team of divorce and family law attorneys. Their aim is to help you get through that emotional and challenging time of divorce and other family disputes. The mission of Ryder Day Law is to compassionately help families resolve their disputes with personalized legal representation while keeping the best interest of the entire family at heart. Their attorneys handle all kinds of family law cases, including child custody, divorce, high asset divorce, mediation, and alimony. Ryder Day Law, compassionate counsel in dark and stressful times. 225-4493 or at RyderDayLaw.com.
Mike Lewis, we've got Guy Girtin.
Great to be here. Always talking football. You know, we had the kudos last segment, but we left out Kyler Murray. Got to mention him.
Yeah.
Boy, did he ball out or what, Paul? Four touchdowns.
4 total touchdowns, 2 rushing touchdowns, 2 passing touchdowns.
Yeah, great.
Kyler
great
Murray, definitely a ball player, and he's a huge reason why Arizona is absolutely.
Had to mention him. Yeah.
They're real. Arizona's for real. If you didn't already know, I mean, they only have the
for
best
real.
record in the entire NFL. So, I mean, let's keep that into perspective, right? So, but you guys know it's our second segment of the morning. It's time for us to throw a flag. This is Flag on a Play.
Biggest stories and controversies leading up to kickoff.
So I've got a couple things. So one of the things when it comes to, and I'm learning it now because now I
like to consider that I am media now, right?
right, you're
right
part of the
here.
media.
You're with us.
I like to think so.
But there's a lot of times the media is messing up. So I'm going to throw a flag on the NFL media for some of the post-game interviews and things that have been said by the media about certain teams. Most importantly, I'm gonna zero in on 2 teams. One, the Bills post-game after losing the game to the Patriots. One of the reporters had asked, like, hey, was it embarrassing that you guys embarrassed that, a team had thrown the ball that many times in one football game? Like, that's never happened. It's like, are you serious? Like, what do you mean? This is NFL football. It's NFL football, and like I said, I know I'm media now. But if you're not out there, I don't think those are things you can say. You can't. You don't say, hey, these guys should be embarrassed by this when it comes to on the field play, because you're not there. The Patriots really dominated the game the way they needed to dominate the game. Okay, I don't know if the Patriots will beat the Bills again without, if they get home field advantage, that's a different story. However, that was a windy game.
Oh man, still the kicks went
it's
left.
super windy. You were not going to be able to throw the football, so you take that away from that Bills offense, where that is where they're most potent.
Right.
All right, what are we doing? And the Patriots were very disciplined. They played Patriot football. That's why they won that football game.
Great coaching job right there, and the Bills couldn't stop them. They just couldn't stop them.
Excellent. So, Bills post-game media, you got to hush up. You shouldn't be talking about if the Bills should be embarrassed about anything. And then also, I really wanted to give some props to RG3 for kind of coming to the Ravens side when it came to what they were dealing with. I'm actually going to pull this up. He ended up saying, people who were criticizing the Ravens and how they're playing, he said they're 8-4. Okay, you know how many teams wish they could be 8-4 right now? With the Ravens, it's been tough. They've got no Ronnie Stanley, no Gus Edwards, no J.K. Dobbins, no Justice Hill, no Marcus Peters, and now no Marlon Humphreys. This is a Ravens team that I know I didn't even pick to go to the playoffs because they are dealing with so many issues, so many injuries.
Patchwork.
My gosh, I'm going, no way that these guys are going to make it happen. And the way they've been playing football, the way they've been in it, I I throw a flag on the media. Like sometimes us as media, we have to kind of stay in our place. And I think it's a great segue into your flag.
Yeah, but just real quick, I wanted to add off what you said at the beginning of that with the media.
Yeah.
Walk a mile in my shoes. That's the thought that came to my mind.
Yeah,
You haven't been on the field. You got to.
100%.
In the Navy,
Absolutely.
we used to tell people stay in your lane.
You stay in your
Absolutely.
All right, here's my flag on the play, and I got a couple of questions for you on this, Paul.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to go to the Ravens Steelers game.
Oh, yeah.
We're at the end of the couple of seconds left on the clock,
Yeah.
and the Ravens decide after they score the touchdown, if they kick the field goal, which is almost guaranteed. I mean, not the PAT. I mean, kick it.
Yeah.
Excuse me. They're going to tie the game and then have a chance to come back and go for the
game
win.
in overtime. Yeah.
But they go for the 2-point conversion.
Yeah.
And they fail.
Yeah.
And then they lose.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, what are the percentages of a 2-point conversion? I don't think they're that high, are they?
No. Well, when it comes to it's drastically different when it comes to your percentage of kicking a PAT, right? And then as a whole, the percentage of you getting in the end zone, period, when you get closer to the end zone, it starts to. It's not as easy as what you may think. Okay, it's much harder to score once you get into the red zone.
Yeah.
So to be on the 2-yard line, it is not that easy to just go for 2 and get it. You know.
Bunch all up right there, and it was go for broke. It was win it now or not.
Yeah.
So I agree with you though, flag.
Yeah.
And the play, Andrews. I mean, it was that he had it.
He was there.
He was there.
Yeah.
It just
he was a wide open. So that whole sequence, I get you on throwing a flag on the whole sequence.
inches, but yeah, I agree with you there.
Yeah.
My flag goes to the Broncos muffed punt. You know, the punt, that was a big turning point in that game.
Yeah.
And I know it was really nobody's fault, although the guy's trying to block, and they say he was blocked into the punter.
Yeah.
But I don't know, that's something you can't do,
Yeah.
especially in that crucial time of the game.
Yeah.
So
And that big of a game. That's one of the games where we look back. I believe they got Kansas City one more time.
yes,
And
final game of the season at home.
Yep. So that's gonna if you want to win the division, I mean Denver now you kind of want to win out because KC is hot right now.
Yeah.
So you want to win out, but
Which is possible.
definitely possible. But those you don't want to make those mistakes in those type of games.
Right.
Just to jump off of football, jump off of NFL for a second, I just want to go back. I want to give a couple shout-outs because we know we get a little bit of time to cover some of the prep football. Big shout-out to Cherry Creek. They were able to repeat and win the 5A state championship, and also to Chatfield getting that 4A state championship. Kudos to them. Jumping into a little bit of college football.
Surprise, right? Number
Yeah.
one. Alabama, they're back.
They're back.
I sent Paul a text message.
Yep.
It said roll tide, and he sent me some kind of an emoji back. I wasn't quite sure what he was saying.
That's right. Oh, all the wash comes out. It's Alabama.
Yeah, no, it was I guess we've seen it coming. I mean, it's always like this. At least it seems like it's always like this. Alabama loses one in the middle of the season where they lost to Texas A&M. Got blasted. And then it comes late into the season. It's like these guys are on.
Yep. And then they beat Georgia, who was number one.
Mm-hmm.
So
playing in Atlanta is like a home game to them. Playing in that Mercedes-Benz Dome for the Sugar Bowl, or for the SEC championship game. That's always played in Atlanta. That's like a home game for them. They are always there, and they never lose. So that's a big shout out to them. But some of the recaps, since he has finished undefeated, congratulations to them. I'm really happy for them. Georgia ends up losing to Alabama. We know of this one, which still a great season by Georgia. Great season by Georgia.
Absolutely.
You just get beat by the Titan that is the Crimson Tide. Oklahoma State losing in a thriller to Baylor and losing on the 1-yard line, really reminiscent of Friday Night Lights, of getting stopped right on the 1-yard line and losing that football game. Michigan has crushed Iowa. You end up getting Harbaugh. He's gonna win Coach of the Year, AP Coach of the Year. He did a great job with Michigan.
I thought Iowa was going to win that game. I really did.
Yeah,
And
well,
put a wrench in everything. But
yeah.
no,
Michigan had something else to say.
That's right.
And then Utah ends up upsetting Oregon for that Pac-10, Pac-12. I don't know what to call it anymore. It's been like 6 years and I still haven't. I'm still not used to it. Right. So that was some of the things that recap this week. Of course, we've got a good game coming up. You got Army Navy.
Right.
Who we have
every year. Yep. Saturday.
Who do we got? Army Navy.
Oh.
I gotta go with Navy.
You gotta go Navy. I knew you were gonna go Navy. I'm gonna go Army. My dad was in the Army, so I'm gonna go Army.
Oh, I'm going Navy.
Yeah, of course. Come on. We know, yeah. I had a couple questions for you guys. The winners and the losers of the 2021 season. Did you guys have any winners from this year? I could see you going Alabama. I could see it happening.
Mm-hmm.
But do we have any winners and losers of this 2021 season for college football?
Moving forward, or just so far in the season?
Just this year, they can look back at the 21 season and go, you know what, this was a win for us. This was a positive year.
Yeah, Notre Dame, who
mm-hmm.
just missed it. They should have been there,
Yeah.
and we've talked about it. But Cincinnati, what a season, undefeated. I mean, they deserve to be there. Maybe they can beat Alabama. Wouldn't that be something, right?
They're going to have a
Say
chance.
that to Mike. We know Alvo Tide.
That would be an upset.
Yes.
They would be crying in Tuscaloosa.
But both of those teams had great seasons.
And I agree with you in Cincinnati. It wasn't even on my radar at the beginning of the season, honestly.
Yeah.
It's like, wow.
I've got Michigan. I think Michigan, I mean, it's very clear. I mean, you end up beating Ohio State for the first time in I don't know how long. But they're the first time they're the outright Big Ten champions since 2003. It's crazy.
Yeah, that's
okay?
crazy.
That's, what is that, 17, 18 years ago?
Great season. And to beat Ohio State like they did.
Exactly.
That's one game in the entire season that turns it around.
So, and that's who my loser is going to end up being both teams that were in the Sugar Bowl last year. You getting Ohio State and Clemson. Both of those teams with the Clemson is now playing in like the Cheez-Its Bowl or something like that, some bowl that we don't care about. And then you got Ohio State. They're getting themselves into a bowl game. They're playing in the Cotton Bowl, I believe. Or excuse me, not the Cotton Bowl. They are playing in the Rose Bowl. So they're going to play in the Rose Bowl against Utah.
But Air Force across the street here, they had a pretty good season.
They did.
And they had a chance. They tied Utah, but Utah won the tiebreaker. Yeah. Or they would have been in that Mountain West Conference title game.
Yeah.
And they're in a pretty good bowl game, Air Force. So,
so that's
kudos to them.
Exactly. So that's a big shout out to them for that. Another loser would be Oklahoma. They've just lost so much. But any playoff predictions that we're looking at when it comes to this college football schedule that we see, where we're going to have Alabama at Cincinnati. We've got Michigan, Alabama and Cincinnati, and then you got Michigan and Georgia for the Orange Bowl in Miami. Do we see an actual upset coming? I'm not going to ask you guys to actually make your picks right now because I think we can save that. But do we see that? Could there be some big-time upsets when we see Alabama, Cincinnati, or Michigan, Georgia?
Absolutely. I see Cincinnati. They could pull it.
You never want to count them out.
Yeah.
Although I've already started rethinking. I think I heard Nick Saban reminded his players, be careful what you say after the win because you may see that team again.
Exactly.
So there's a prediction there.
Yeah. That Georgia may creep right back into the national. We may see a rematch.
Yeah.
I would like to.
Which would be good.
I was just really excited to get that Michigan-Georgia game. That's a game I wanted to see, Michigan-Georgia. And we're going to get that in that Orange Bowl. I think that's going to be a special one. And Cincinnati's going to have a real chance to prove to everybody that this is the playoff schedule. I think this playoffs need to be open, okay?
And they deserve to be there.
Exactly, because if they can beat Alabama, it's going to really – it should open the eyes to where we're going, hey, look, they're probably – like this is like March Madness. Duke can get knocked off. Okay, North Carolina can get knocked off. Those things can happen in March Madness, and we don't really open the doors like that for college football for it to be the same way. So I am rooting for Cincinnati to hopefully open some eyes because I think the playoffs can be a lot of fun. They're going to have to renew something here soon because that 2024, I believe the contract is up for the certain playoffs that we have. Okay. Now, we've got some Heisman finalists coming up. I don't know if you guys have any takes on them. I know Bryce Young is probably the top pick right now, the quarterback at Alabama. He's been playing absolutely excellent. Aiden Hutchinson, though, I wanted to kind of zero in on him. He's a defensive end at Michigan. And little known fact, the last time that Michigan won the national championship, the Heisman Trophy winner was also at Michigan.
There you go.
And it was Charles Woodson, who was a defensive player.
Right.
And that was the last defensive player to win the Heisman. And this would be the second guy. And Michigan would also be in the – I'm just saying, it's eerie.
It's
and it
lining
could
up.
happen. We're in the same boat when it comes down to that. Also, Kenny Pickett, the quarterback at Pitt. He is the other one, the guy who does the fake slide. I don't know if you guys were able to see that the other week.
Right. He's pretty good. I like Hutchinson, though. I would love to see him get it as a defensive end.
Same here. I think it's really special. I'm really rooting for Michigan right now. I'm not a Wolverine guy at all, and everybody in Columbus would probably be really mad at me. I played for the Columbus Destroyers, and so I would go to Ohio State for tours and things like that. And so don't hate me, Ohio State fans, but I'm really rooting for Michigan right now.
I got a question for you.
Yeah.
You know, when you were playing either pro ball on Sundays or college ball, did you become, when the game's over, you've showered, you go home, do you become a fan like all of us and watch the Sunday night game or the Monday night game as a fan? Or are you tired of football?
Of course.
Oh, good.
I think the only time where I was not a big fan, when I was playing college football, that's a little different. Playing college football and then watching college football, it was hard to be a fan of the other colleges on Saturday. Didn't really pay attention to it. Was more of the fan on Sundays. But getting into the NFL, definitely become more of a fan of the game. Now, getting released and then not playing on an NFL team makes you a little bitter. Right. So then you don't kind of want to watch it. But I think this has been the past few years. I've really my love for the NFL has really grown again. So.
I was always wondering if guys are sitting there on a Monday night to watch, just like all of us on the couch watching the game.
That's a great question. I mean, is it like going back to work?
Yeah. No. Right. No. It's. I think that the love of the game is there. So if you love football, you love football. So I mean, it's there. So, but with that being said, I think we're going to wrap up that flag on the play. It was an excellent segment. We've got so much more coming up, like I said, early on in the show. So we're going to be able to get into that. Make sure you're liking, subscribing on Pat and Go with Paul Browning and also KPPF 1040 AM radio. This is Pat and Go with Paul Browning. We'll be right back.
Stress takes over, Huntington can help. Huntington Learning Center helps students of all ages build the skills, confidence, and motivation to improve grades and test scores through personalized attention and proven results.
I got it.
Reject the stress. Call 1-800-CAN-LEARN now.
Are you looking for a local, knowledgeable loan officer to guide you through the process? Guaranteed Rate delivers home loans built on trust. Whether you're purchasing a home or refinancing, for honest communication with a personal touch, visit rate.com/ChrisF or call 719-337-3021. Subject to credit approval. NMLS ID 1435075. Equal housing lender. Guaranteed rate NMLS 2611. Nationwide mortgage licensing system. NMLSconsumeraccess.org. Colorado license 1005-13557.
Ryder Day Law are an experienced and qualified team of divorce and family law attorneys. Their aim is to help you get through that emotional and challenging time of divorce and other family disputes. The mission of Ryder Day Law is to compassionately help families resolve their disputes with personalized legal representation while keeping the best interests of the entire family at heart. Their attorneys handle all kinds of family law cases, including child custody, divorce, high asset divorce, mediation, and alimony. Ryder Day Law, compassionate counsel in dark and stressful
And even came out, we did a scrimmage against Colorado State Fort Collins. And he ended up coming out to that scrimmage, and he was on our sideline, not with D1 Foco. He was with CSU Pueblo.
With the Rams.
He was with us. He was standing on our sideline. He brought Brock Osweiler with him, and he was standing out with us. I remember them coming down to the spring game that we had at CSU Pueblo. So it was really cool getting for him to even bring his presence around us, a bunch of guys at the D2 level hanging out. I know he took a couple other guys under his wing. And then I ended up seeing him again later on. As I got into my NFL career, I actually had a workout with the Broncos, and I remember going in there, and I'm sitting in the cafeteria. Once again, I don't know what's about food, and he's just always around when food is there, right? But I'm sitting down in the cafeteria and filling out all the paperwork that I need to fill out for this workout. Players are walking in and out, and then DK comes walking in, and right away we both see each other, and it's like, what's up? And I get up and I walk over him, and we dap each other up and hug. And I was like, yeah, man, I got a workout. Like, hopefully we're teammates after this. I would love it. It would be a full circle moment. And I just remember him being like, well, no, we will. We'll be teammates. I know, we will. And, having that confidence in me. And, we didn't, like, I'm not going to front like we were like best friends or anything like that. Not at all. But, for him to be that nice and to notice me, because you get guys who, you get that level. You get to that level of superstardom.
Right.
And, it changes them.
Oh,
They won't,
absolutely.
there are guys that I know who, I played with, and, they won't answer a text. They won't, so it's like, so to have somebody like that, at that level.
I was going to say, especially the level that he was.
Yeah.
A 5-time Pro Bowl.
Yeah.
Like 10 years with the Broncos. The guy, he's going to be a Ring of Famer. There's no question about it.
Not a question.
He signed a one-day contract to retire as a Bronco, which was great. And I had the honor and the opportunity to interview him several times.
Yeah.
Always willing to give his time, very accessible.
Yeah.
And easy to interview
Yeah.
for me. That's what I've had with him. And, you mentioned favorite plays, and we talked about it already, is that playoff game against the Steelers in overtime.
Yeah.
It was the first time they implemented that overtime rule.
Yep.
First touchdown wins,
Mhm.
and what was it, one play,
One
Tebow
play.
over the middle, and the stadium was so loud, it was rocking.
Which was an excellent Steelers team. We overlooked that. That was an excellent Steelers team that they ended up beating.
Yes.
That was no joke. I want to say they ended up being in the Super Bowl the next year, or the year to play the Packers, because I believe that was 2010, right?
Yeah, you're right.
They ended up being in the Super Bowl the next year playing the Packers. So it's like, that was not a fluke.
And then we went and played the Patriots in the AFC Championship game, got beat. But
Yeah.
to beat the Steelers at home, and that's got to be, you got your Elway helicopter in the
Yeah.
Super Bowl, and you got a few others, but that's got to be one of the greatest plays in Broncos history, in my humble opinion.
Yeah.
But I think so. And
Yeah.
Demaryius was a huge part of that.
Man, yeah. Rest in peace to Demaryius Thomas. He was an excellent guy, and an excellent Denver Bronco.
Yeah.
And then Mike, I know you're a huge Bronco fan. I mean, what does it mean to you, his legacy and the player that he was?
Well, I think back to Super Bowl 50, of course. When I saw I got a text message last night, the phone went off, that it was unconfirmed reports that he was dead, so you're hoping, well, maybe this is a mistake,
Mhm.
Yeah.
and looking for information. Of course, early on last night, no one knew what was going on. But he's only he's second leading receiver behind Rod Smith. I believe that's the.
Rod Smith is the all-time leader, yeah.
And he was drafted first round draft along with Tim Tebow, which I thought was kind of interesting.
Yeah.
And I did see Tim Tebow send out his condolences to the family this morning in a tweet.
Yeah.
And I think you guys said that also Peyton Manning sent out the.
And
So
many
it's
others.
terrible
Yeah.
loss. And then the Broncos made a statement this morning. It's awful. It's awful to see anyone die. 33 years old. I can't imagine losing my life or losing a loved one at that age. And I'm sickened by it. And my thoughts go out to his family. I did want to just ask you just a little bit of a diversion. Again, we're not trying to speculate, but the first thing that went through my mind when I saw that it was a seizure that they think he died from. That's the reports this morning, but of course things can change.
Right.
But, you know, we've talked about, and we've heard about concussions in the NFL and worried about players' safety, but then Guy told me he was in a car wreck, which I did not realize. But I mean, what do you think, Paul? Is that a possibility?
Yeah, I mean,
it's
it's always a possibility, and I don't want to do rumors, and I don't do that. But
Sure.
it is something where, at least for me, as a player, as a former player, I know it creeps in my mind.
Did you ever get your bell rung?
Oh, 100%. And that's, I mean, my wife, when I told her, when I was like, oh man, DT passed, and that was her first thing. She was like, you think it has to do anything with like head injuries? And I know she's always worried about that.
Well, apparently he'd been suffering from some seizures going on now 4 or 5 months. Or longer. He had been. And apparently that's what happened. And then I did understand that he was in an automobile accident, so there was complications. It was a medical issue. So maybe that contributed to it.
Yeah, and we're not gonna be into that business of want to start anything, but then that's not what we're doing. It's just I totally understand where you're coming with that, because I think it does creep in a lot of guys' minds when you start hearing a little bit about, hey, this guy was young. What happened? How did this happen? I mean, the Vince Jackson thing was something for me. Same thing. It's like, man, I know he was battling with certain things, certain demons that he was battling. This game can give you a lot, but can also take a lot from you.
Well, our thoughts and prayers to Demaryius' family, for sure.
So that's once again, want to give our love to his family, friends, teammates, the people who loved them, the Denver community, Colorado community, Colorado Springs, everybody who had love for him. He was so much to the community, he was so much to the city, he was so much to the state, just to the Broncos, man, and he really was in the community. He was out here. I mean, the guy drove down to Pueblo. All right, he came all the way down to Pueblo to hang out with us. And I think that was something, it really says, like, you're invested in this state, you're invested in this team, you're invested in this community.
It'll be interesting to see on Sunday what the Broncos do in the game. I'm sure they'll show him some respect, do something. I haven't heard anything, but I'm sure they will. It'll be interesting.
And you mentioned too, Guy, a lot of the players that are there now.
It's McManus. McManus is the only one, like Von Miller, but since he's left, it's just McManus is the only one.
So
and he tweeted out as well. He's good friends.
So that's another thing when we look at coming into these upcoming games as we transition to that. Denver is still in the hunt.
Oh, absolutely.
They're in the hunt. They are 100%. But this is a very tough AFC West. No team is under 500. Denver's at 6-6. Vegas is at 6-6. KC is at 8-4. The Chargers are at 7-5. You're getting some really good football coming from a lot of these teams.
The Chargers are getting hot. The Chiefs are getting hot.
Yeah. So that's. I've got my picks. And I think that's one of the ones I want to highlight. This week, I don't want to do it a little bit different, but we've got a couple games that I want to definitely zero in on for those who are bettors, for those who put the money on the line. I'm gonna have 3 games for sure that I think
guaranteed
that are guaranteed that I want you to. I'm
guaranteed.
going on a limb. I'm gonna. Hey, some people are gonna be knocking on my door here. I'm gonna run. I'm gonna be out trying to eat lunch with my wife, and they're gonna go, hey, I bet on. Hey, come on, man.
Or you're gonna do a disclaimer here too.
We only have about 4 that are coin flips.
Yeah, we're gonna have to end up. We're gonna have to end up playing that disclaimer one more time. Hey, this does not not affect the opinions of Down Country Radio, right now. But that is something I want to get into. Also, looking at it, Tampa Bay and New England are they're not playing each other this week, but there is the highest probability currently from Vegas, the odds that we get a Brady Belichick Super Bowl.
Wouldn't that be something?
It is the highest odds right now.
That's what everybody wants.
So those are a couple of the so I did want to spotlight a little bit. We do have the Bills playing Tampa Bay this week. We have the Patriots are playing the Colts. and then Baltimore plays Cleveland. Those are 3 of the games I want to spotlight. We're going to get back into it as soon as we come back from this break, but we're gonna get into 50-50 right after this. Definitely big shout out to Huntington Learning Center. Thank you guys, and then, like I said, if you're watching on YouTube, make sure we like and subscribe at KPPF 1040 AM radio. This is Pat and Go with Paul Browning. We'll see you right after break.
Study skills, a stress beyond her comprehension.
We can't keep having this conversation.
It's not like I want to fail.
When low grades follow you home, Huntington can help. Huntington Learning Center helps students of all ages build the skills, confidence, and motivation to improve grades and test scores through personalized attention and proven results. Keep low grades out. Call 1-800-CAN-LEARN now.
Looking for a local, knowledgeable loan officer to guide you through the process? Guaranteed Rate delivers home loans built on trust. Whether you're purchasing a home or refinancing, for honest communication with a personal touch, visit rate.com/ChrisF or call 719-337-3021. Subject to credit approval. NMLS ID 1435075. Equal housing lender. Guaranteed Rate NMLS 2611. Nationwide mortgage licensing system. NMLS 1005-13557.
Ryder Day Law are an experienced and qualified team of divorce and family law attorneys. Their aim is to help you get through that emotional and challenging time of divorce and other family disputes. The mission of Ryder Day Law is to compassionately help families resolve their disputes with personalized legal representation while keeping the best interest of the entire family at heart. Their attorneys handle all kinds of family law cases, including child custody.
Welcome back to We've been having a great show.
Guy Girtin,
Great to be talking football
Thank you,
again.
Paul.
man. Hey, we're getting close to the playoffs. It makes it that much better when it comes to us getting ready to do these picks.
Isn't it flying by?
Oh man, it's flying by. So you made to 100
Alright.
wins. You're at 165. I'm at 92.73. Got at 38 or 54 and 38. You got to 50 so quick.
Hey, thanks. I came in late to the party. Gaining momentum.
This is Mr. Sports Guy. over
Yeah,
there.
no, guys got it. I
Hey,
get it.
thanks.
Sports guy.
Yeah.
Sports guy.
The sports guy.
Look at
You
what we
got
did.
Yes, indeed.
No, so we've got some really big games. Like I said, I know I have 4 guaranteed lines that I want to put out there when it comes to just guarantees of the week, all right? But they're going to be the actual bets, so pay attention to that. I'm going to recap that. But let's get into some of these games. Early on, it's an big AFC West matchup. We've got Vegas heading out to Kansas City to take on the Chiefs. The Chiefs have a 9.5 point the spread going 9.5 to them. So I'm gonna live with that.